Hello and welcome on into the What's on Tap, George on Tap show. We talk about everything that is going on in the world of sports. And today we're going to start off with some big stories from NFL Sunday. Before we get started, make sure you use the Rebet app to bet on sports. I'm going to overlay my screen here. If you use promo code on tap, you'll get up to $100 bonus. If you deposit $100, you get $100 back, and it is available in 46 out of 50 states. The Rebet app is a great way to bet if you're in California, Texas, Washington. You can bet using real money, real odds, player props, and more using promo code on tap. And now, guys, let's get started with the show.
I can't believe we made it this far. 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 Heaven is crowded. And I can't believe I made it this far. Tell you how I feel, tell you how I feel. Let the real speak, let the fake be gone. Let the fake go on. Let those niggas gone. Keep my ass alone. I've been on my own. I've been all alone. I fell on my face. I got up my own. I fell on my face. Got up on my own. I fell on my face. Got up on my own. I just left the studio. I just left the studio, did 24 songs. I've been on my shit, I've been off the grid. I can't disappear, I gotta watch my kid. I gotta watch my shit, I gotta watch my sis. Everything gets bigger, shit don't make no sense. Shit don't make no sense. I done had so far, niggas always mad. I don't give a fuck. I'm good, fuck it all. Yeah, nigga, I bought. Told you nigga, they ain't believe nothing at all. They believe us at all. They believe us at all. They believe us at all. Leave us alone. I'm just trying to tell you how I feel, tell you how I feel. I've been on turn that.
Why?
Too much money, turn down there, turn down there. Too much money, turn down there, turn down there. We riding Broncos right through the hill. We riding Broncos right through the hill. She fought me pronto when I call her. Ain't no stopping us, we going out here. They know we popular, they can't control nothing.
All right, guys, we tried something there and it did not work. So we're going to have to restart this show. I am really apologetic about that, but let's get started. Lamar Jackson is better than advertised. He's better than we think he is. Lamar Jackson is simply amazing. He's the best dual threat QB in history of the game, and he's missing one thing. And that one thing and one thing only is a Super Bowl. People say he can't win a big game. Well, he does win big games. Go look at the games he wins. Last year, 49ers, Seahawks, Texas, Bengals, Rams. This year, Cowboys and Bills in back-to-back weeks. Sure, he can't beat Patrick Mahomes, but who does? Joe Burrow one time? That's it. Not only can he run, but he's gotten better in the pocket. He's a leader. He's smart. It's time we all stop and just marvel on what Lamar Jackson is, and that's the most underappreciated quarterback we have in the National Football League. Lamar Jackson is simply amazing. You saw it against the Bills yesterday in a must-win game. You cannot go 1-3 in this AFC and expect to really have an easy path to the playoffs. And we saw what he did. When it was time to run, he'd put his head down and run. When it was time to make throws in the pocket, he'd stand in the pocket and throw darts. We said it in week 1 against the Kansas City Chiefs. When it's time for Lamar Jackson to actually go in there and like put his head down and take on defenders, he'll do it. but he's not going to do it in a game against the Raiders, and that kind of cost them the Raiders game. I think overall, Lamar Jackson is one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. He's underappreciated, and he's the best dual threat quarterback we've ever seen. He's kind of changed the quarterback position. Michael Vick before him, but now Lamar, and now we're seeing Jaden Daniels. The running quarterback that can actually stand in the pocket and throw darts is the most valuable thing in the NFL we have today. I know Patrick Mahomes is known as a pocket passer, but go look at his rushing yards. He can rush too. Lamar Jackson is changing the game, and I really believe the Bengals are still going to have a chance to win the Super Bowl. The Chiefs, I know, are 4-0, but every game they've had to do it in weird fashion. The Ravens can start racking up some wins here. Maybe finish with 4 losses on the season. Maybe they'll have home field advantage in the AFC. And if the AFC championship game has to go through Baltimore for another year, maybe this time the Ravens can win. All right, what's on tap? Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. Oh boy. Aaron Rodgers is back to being Aaron Rodgers. We all know how good Rodgers can be. We do. But we also know how salty Aaron Rodgers can be. And we all know someone like Aaron in our life. They're extremely talented, smart, ambitious, but there's buts. They have no accountability. They're always ready to point fingers at someone else. Extreme talent, but extreme narcissism. That's Aaron Rodgers. When things are going good, they are the best people to hang out with. But when things are going bad, they drain you mentally. Mentally, just drain you. And that's what Aaron Rodgers is. And that's what's happening with the Jets. 4 games into the season, they played one good game. Let's be honest. They've had one game where they look good. They struggled against Tennessee in that win. They should have beat the Broncos yesterday. A rookie quarterback on the road and he threw for like less than 100 yards and you lose. After the game, you could tell that Robert Saleh and Aaron Rodgers do not like each other. Guess who's going to win that battle? Aaron Rodgers. He'll win that battle. If you're going to choose between Rodgers and the head coach, you're always going to choose Aaron Rodgers. But the problem with Aaron Rodgers is it's never his fault. I like Aaron Rodgers. When things are going good and he's on interviews and podcasts and being fun, he's great. But when things are going bad, you can hear it in his voice. He's sulking. He's pissed. He's angry. He's upset. But the biggest thing to me, and the thing that can, if you're a fan of the Jets or Aaron Rodgers, that you cannot deny, when things are going bad, he's a headache. And right now, the Jets have a headache on their hand. Now, there's going to be time to get things right, of course. We're still so early into this NFL season. But the loss to the Broncos, who, by the way, are 2-2 somehow now, is a loss. You look at that schedule through the year and you're like, all right, Broncos at home. Put that in as a win. They got the Raiders next, who are 2-2. Chargers with Harbaugh, Panthers. Saints and Panthers. Before they go Ravens, Chiefs, Falcons. Sorry, I was looking at the Broncos schedule, guys. I'm like, what? How do they play? Sorry. Let me go to the Jets schedule here. They got the Vikings in London next week. The Vikings are 4-0. Then they play the Bills. Then they play the Steelers in that defense. The Jets don't find a way to go 2-1 in their next 3 games. They're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. And Aaron Rodgers versus Robert Saleh will end up with Aaron Rodgers winning and an interim head coach, probably Nathaniel Hackett, leading the charge for the Jets. All right, what's on tap? Karl Anthony Towns has been traded to the Knicks. Are the Knicks going all in? Well, it sure seems like it. Karl Anthony Towns is a big talent. There was a time, according to NBA general managers, and this is true in the NBA general manager poll, he was the number 1 player that they would like to build a team around. Now, well, the T-Wolves had seen enough, and they sent him packing to the Garden. The Knicks get a guy in Towns who isn't built for the New York media. He isn't as tough as the New York media would like. But let's be honest here for a second. They aren't asking him to come in and be the leader of a team. That's Jalen Brunson's job. They're asking him to come in, get buckets, and leave the leadership to someone else. Will this work? Well, let's examine this for a moment. Carl Anthony Towns is a huge talent. We all know that. And we know how good he can be. We know at that in the playoffs last year, going all the way to the Western Conference Finals, I thought the Timberwolves were ready just to build around Towns and Edwards and Gobert and be like, let's run it back. We're so close to getting to the NBA Finals. Instead, they send Towns packing in New York. Well, New York now has Jalen Brunson, Towns, Mikal Bridges. They're stacked. The Knicks right now are a stacked basketball team. They have the Villanova connection is now like gone, the Villanova 4, but that's fine. Dante DiVincenzo versus Julius Randle versus Carl Anthony Towns. You take the scoring of Towns every time. My biggest concern is Towns in the New York media. Towns seems to be a little bit of a sensitive guy. The New York media is definitely not a sensitive media. They'll tell you how it is and how they think it should be. And if as long as he plays good enough and doesn't get affected by the New York media, the Garden could be rocking this year. I think they're now 4th or 3rd in odds to win the NBA championship. The Knicks got a star. And I know Jalen Brunson is their best player, but if we want to be honest, Carl Anthony Towns is probably better than Jalen Brunson, even though Jalen Brunson gets buckets. Towns, if he can stay level-headed, not get affected by the New York media, this is going to work for him insanely well. And the Timberwolves, well, they get a guy in Julius Randle who I don't know how he's going to fit with Anthony Edwards. He's coming off a major injury. I know he's good, but the Timberwolves, I feel like, took a step back, even though they're trying to win an NBA championship. And when you have a player like Anthony Edwards, the only thing you should be worried about is winning NBA championships. Overall, I think the Knicks got better. I think the Timberwolves got slightly worse. And the NBA season is about to start off with a bang. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. This has been the George on Tap, What's on Tap in Sports Show. As always, brought to you by Rebet. Use promo code ONTAP, and you can get up to $100 bonus on your first deposit, up to $100. And it's available in 46 out of 50 states. Sorry for the little bit of a clunky show today. The sharing screen feature was not working the way I thought it should be working, but that's okay. We'll learn. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll see you guys next time.